So hey there, everybody. As always, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out for a few. My name is Rich, and I am the missing channel host. I've been away a couple weeks. My apologies, everybody. We weren't on vacation or anything. We were just keeping up with the workload. Things have been getting really busy here for the fall season. We're getting a lot of requests, not just in the Prescott area. We've got requests down in the Phoenix area and also up in the Sedona area, and we're trying to work through all these proposals while still juggling the rest of the work we're doing. Now, today I want to do a little nostalgia. There's no tutorial going on here or anything. I just want to rewind things for folks who are new to the channel and share something with you that I think is kind of special. So as you can see in the upper part of the screen here, we've got Sky Ranch at See My Build. So what is Sky Ranch about and why am I nostalgic over it? Well, give me 1 minute and I'll tell you why. So back in 2019, as we started building AZ Drone, I got a contact not from the usual suspects. It wasn't a construction group or a real estate group. It was an individual who was expanding a ranch in the greater Prescott area. They had stumbled across my website, azdrone.net, and they took a look through at some of the sample work that we've been doing since we first started doing real drone work specifically in the construction arena. And what they saw was compelling enough to where they got in touch with us. So my website has generated a lot of business for me over the years, and it continues to do that today. And this particular client was looking to document a new ranch build. There was already a house in the area. There was already a workshop and garage, but they were building this place up for the horses that they breed and show. So very interesting request. And this was right at the end of 2019. We already were working with another construction group on a larger scale project, but this was the first time a private owner approached us. And keep in mind, if you're building your drone construction progression business, you've got general contractors, you've got investment capitalists, you've got subcontractors, you've got the buyers, all these different groups you can cater to and give them different presentations based on the perspective that they're coming from. The owners, the homeowners, they want to see what's happening with the build. Venture capitalists, they want to see how far along the build is and make sure that they're funding the right project, those kind of things. Well, in the case of the private owner, this was all about them tracking and documenting this build out and also keeping a watch over the build out when they weren't around for it. So this person, JC, got in touch with me November of 2019 and invited me out to the ranch area. So after our initial conversation, I took a ride out into the middle of nowhere on all these crazy dirt roads. Glad I have a Nissan Titan. Got to the location, met up with JC, and he was happy that I was there a little early because one of the plumbing people was late. So established things for me right away. This guy wanted things prompt and on time, and I'm totally down with that as well. So he actually rolled out blueprints for me. So I had all the parcel information I needed and the blueprints of what was going to happen on this location. So all of this client was already prepared for. So this is a great kind of client to have. Now, after our initial meeting, he said that the real work was going to start in January of 2020. So we had a little bit of time for planning before we had to go out and do our initial mission setups. So like in my workflow that I have on my class at classes.azdrone.net, I went through my workflow process to make sure that I had everything lined up for how we were going to set things up. And January of 2020, I met the owner out on location and we actually plotted the flights out together. It was great to have that customer feedback because then I knew that I was getting exactly what the client wanted. And so, we worked on this for a couple of years and I thought we were basically done, but they still had some more work to do and got in touch with us a couple weeks ago and said, hey, we want to do this final wrap up. And, more than just what you were doing for us, we want some cinematic video. We want to tell a story of this ranch, all these different exciting things that just sounded great to me. So what you're looking at on screen right now is what I have been building since October 3rd. So just a couple days ago, we were out flying, and October 4th, I spent the entire day editing videos and 3D models and ortho mosaics. It's all there. And I'm just going to scroll down. Part of See My Build, part of this presentation service that we do for our clients was inspired by this client. As we work through the process together, some of the things that I learned went into our workflow, and some of the other things that I learned, I said, okay, we're not going to do that again. Well, let's just scroll down here really quick. So this is a shot of part of the property. The property's huge, but this is a shot of part of the property. And then we get down to the Sky Ranch video. So we do have two different videos for the client right now. We've got a video that shows the original orbit, and it shows it January of 2020 through to today, October of 2023. Really cool video. The second video is our first draft of a more cinematic thing. They had some things they wanted to cover, some things they wanted to showcase. So this was all new. By the way, we were out on the job site for over 4 hours. We were flying the Mavic 3 Enterprise. We were flying the Mavic 2 Pro. We were flying the DJI Avata, and we also had another backup drone with us, and all the batteries that come along with that. So the Avata got heavily used. All of the batteries for that were laid to waste. And the Mavic 3 Enterprise was used for our modeling and our 2D orthomosaic. And then we also used the Avata was about video, and so was the Mavic 2 being about video. So the Mavic 3 was, just all about the mapping. And if we scroll down here, you can actually check out the 3D site model. You can click into this. It's hosted over on Sketchfab. So, these clients weren't looking for 3D models, but I did them anyways. And since we had the opportunity to be at their site, we also utilized the Mavic 3 Enterprise's mapping oblique mode, which was really cool. And I'll show you in just a minute. Once again, this is not a tutorial today. We're catching things up, and I'm talking through one of our favorite projects. So if you're still hanging in here waiting for tutorials and stuff, not on this one. I'm going to be doing a full walkthrough on this coming Sunday on our Patreon channel. The link to our Patreon is down below in case you'd like to join up and participate with us as we walk through this whole project this coming Sunday. All right, after that, we also had a still image gallery, and we still do have some more work that we're going to do with this page. We're just waiting on some feedback from the clients on how they'd like this laid out and also how they want their cinematic video to go. Now, we're going to switch screens here, and we are going to pull up. So this is the screen from my controller, my RC Pro controller that came with the Mavic 3 Enterprise. And so we've still been getting accustomed to the Mavic 3 Enterprise. I've still got some doubts about it, but one thing I can say, this is an absolute mapping platform. What's sad is that some of the basic camera settings and features aren't available on this drone. As far as doing maps and models, absolutely, this thing rocks it, and it picks up everything very quickly. So since we're at the location, having that nostalgic day, catching up with our client, and having some fun flying, he's also aware that I do teach online classes, and he knows that some of the stuff that we've done for him has appeared in our online classes in YouTube, like this. So on the left-hand side of the RC Pro, you can see we've got this flight path that we've got, and we call it Sky Ranch East-West - oblique. I had just made a copy of my East-West, but then I set it up for the oblique setup to see what kind of 3D model we could get out of this. By the way, spoiler, it's an awesome model. Super impressed with the mapping side with this thing. All right, let me just move through here real quick. So we're not walking through all of this. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole thing on Patreon on Sunday, but I just wanted to give you an idea of, hey, this is one of the typical projects, and this was a project where Rich was on site for over 4 hours that day. As we started into the video recording of the RC Pro, I was screen capturing this. So when I first pulled this up, saying it's a 28.5 acre mapping area, ground sampling distance 2.46 centimeters per pixel, and 2.72 for the oblique GSD. Estimated time 14 minutes for 843 photos. That's rocking fast, and it really did a great job. Color me blown away. All right, but I still have problems with white balance. So I just can't let that go. So I'm just going to scroll through this real quick. And so I was talking to people about a couple of the setup things that I needed to do before we went and took off. And one of the things, I just walked them through the setup here. And as you can see, so that's the name of the flight, Mavic 3 Enterprise. and in the wide mode, and I'm using the oblique collection. So the oblique collection means it's going to do a north-south and an east-west, and it's going to put the gimbal in some very strange places. And if you're looking at it on screen, you almost think, hey, there's something wrong with the camera here. But that's just how it's shooting to get the facades, to get edge detail. And I have to say, this is some of the best edge detail and facade detail that I've seen in any models, compared to some of my other drones. This is just absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to scroll down, and we do talk about the setup, and we'll be talking about that on the Patreon meeting as well. So I've got the flight ready to go, and let's just scroll over a little more. I arrowed myself back just to double check everything. And then we put the drone up into the air. So we just got it above us. And then I selected that Sky Ranch. I hit the play button up here. And after that, it gets you into a settings where you can actually double check yourself to make sure that you're not missing anything or that you didn't forget a setting. So very useful pre-flight check. I like that feature on the drone. So scrolling through this, I had to adjust my elevation on this really quick. So we're just scrolling through this real fast. We then sent the drone out to start its mapping mission here. And you might have heard that. I'm just playing this for you, but it said approaching starting the task. And so now it's going to be going through and just taking, well, 800 and something photos. So I did watch this the whole time. Of course, I don't have all of it recorded because I didn't want to drive people crazy. But this was a very, very successful flight. And I'm going to quit QuickTime really quick. And we are going to pull up one other item. So after we collected all this, after we got back to the office and we made a little lunch, I wanted to see how well the Mavic 3 Enterprise did in Metashape. And so let's go to the Sky Ranch. Here we go. And like I said, I'm going to be talking more in depth about this on our upcoming Patreon meeting this Sunday, and that is October 8th. So our Patreon link is down below in case you're interested in participating and seeing what some of our Patreon get-togethers look like. Now, first thing, I was also experimenting with some camera motions on this. I am just going to get rid of that camera track, and here we go. So this took a couple hours to run in total. These were all medium settings. We could have gone for even more detail, but I don't even think it was necessary with this. So I'm going to start zooming this plot of land in. So this is the whole area we flew the other day. And now I would just like to start rotating around here, because one of the things, even in shadowed areas, I'm looking over here, I'm looking at you, horse stables. Even in shadowed areas, look at how well it actually got the facades on the side of the stable. Absolutely incredible to me. And overall, I've done a lot of 3D models on this location as well, and 2D models, but I do have to say the Mavic 3 Enterprise did a very, very good job on this entire scene. And imagine if I even tighten things up more, both on the flight as well as in the post-processing. This is an extremely cool 3D model. So this might get you thinking about ideas for client work that you do as well. One of the other things was the owners really wanted to check out this wash over here because they ride the horses in the wash. I also found the rock formations in here incredibly interesting. So we've got some cool rock faces in here, and not your typical granite like the Granite Dells or Granite Basin. These rock formations were very, very white, and I'm not exactly sure if it was granite or another type of rock material. But so there you go. Out of this flight with these clients, not only did we get to enjoy some nostalgia and go back on one of the big projects that helped really launch our business. Beyond that, utilizing that Mavic 3 Enterprise has proven out a lot to me that we will still be keeping it. We're just going to have to also be able to utilize our Mavic 2 Pros for video and still image missions that aren't models. All right, everybody, now we're all caught up, at least with this one project. But like I said, we've been doing projects every day. I feel like half my time is on the phone right now answering questions with folks. But we will get back to a regular pace again. We do have a lot more videos going into our Mavic 3 Enterprise videos, and you can learn more about that over at classes.azdrone.net as well. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning into the channel. Sorry for being gone so long, and we'll see you more often in the coming weeks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.